All right, today what we're going to do is we're going to get into some real basic exercises and how to integrate a horse into our herd. So right now this guy's kind of relaxed. He got groomed and he's starting to masturbate a little bit, getting a little bit excited. This will change very quickly. Not worried about it. He needs to understand space. He's a pretty nice guy, but he's way too pushy because people just haven't given him the guidelines. So right now, I'm not looking really to be his friend. I'm looking to be his leader, and he has to understand that this pen here, which has an electric perimeter, he's had a chance to get used to it. He knows where it is, and he's starting to respect the perimeters, which is really good. So I'm going to use this training environment because this is a training pen. That's why it's set up the way it is. And what I want him to do is to end up yielding space in the direction that I ask him, but also to improve his shape. That is to bend and to soften. I don't want him to feel bad. I want him to follow my lead and feel as good as possible, but being respectful at the same time. We'll discuss some of this as we go. At first, I'm not looking to do a lot. I'm just going to get him to move. I'm just looking at angles. I want him to stay forward, not make any decisions other than to go forward where I ask him. So I'm always picking my angle. So if somebody wants to take a look at the articles on the website and how you create drive is on the back half of that horse. And you'll see he has a lot of attitude. He does a lot of head tossing. He thinks he's an Arabian and he's not. So I'm always trying to cause some bend in him so that his eye comes towards me, but I don't want him to make any changes. At first, I really don't care whether he trots or whether he canters or anything else. I just care that he goes to the left when I ask him. I want him to understand he's moving forward because I'm asking him. He's not making any other decisions because I'm not allowing it. So in the longer version, I would be doing this here easily for 10 to 15 minutes. Right there, he was thinking he was going to go stiff his marking area. So I let him know that he's on my turf. He's not on his turf. Now I chose the lunge grip. I could also use a flag depending on the horse, or I could use my lariat. If I right there, he's asking me, well, can we do something else? He was asking me a question. I filed that. That's telling me that he's ready to start thinking about coming in towards me, which is good. But what I want to do is I'd like him to come in towards me when I ask him, not when he's just decided to. But I'm filing it that he's actually open to that suggestion right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to tone down and see what he does. Does he pay attention to me? Later on, I may invite him into my space. At this point right now, I really don't care about that. I just care that he learns to pay attention and goes in the direction that I ask. Now, the easiest way for me to make a change, a rein to the other side, is to turn the opposite way and bring him around. He's a little bit spoiled on his left eye, so I probably will expect him to actually be even better in a shorter period of time on the right side because there's actually less resistance to the training. There is at the start, but later on, there's less retraining on that side. Again, his eye is spending a little bit too much time outside. He's counter flexed out. And that's why at that stage here, I try to put a little bit of pressure on his rib cage more often so his eye comes back to me. The more his eye stays towards me, the better it is. Does that bend, a positive bend to the inside, causes him to start feeling better and to relax. And when he starts to relax and be in a better shape, I can slow things down a little bit. This is not a matter of working this horse till he's so tired he can't do anything else. That's ridiculous. And he's a fairly high energy guy, so we don't want to get into that because he might surprise you how long he can go. Then he'll just become a runner. We don't want to do that. Right there, see, he's looking inside now. He's asking me, can we do something else? Can we do something else? He actually came in a little bit more in the circle. I don't worry about that right now as long as he's not being rude. He is intact, and he can be a little bit of a bugger. He's a fairly nice guy. He just doesn't know that he needs to behave himself. That's a matter of people showing him what's expected. He's getting distracted. He was starting to think of other things other than me. But right now I want him to understand that the most important thing there is right now in this space is me. And what he's doing in relation to what I'm asking. Guy's coming a little bit more my way there. I will be asking him to come and face in shortly. Right there. And I'm watching. What does he do? If he's watching me with his eyes, I'll allow him to just relax there. If he starts to pay attention to the to everywhere else except me, then I will move him right away. So I'd like this to be a rest phase. So he's thinking there might be another question right now. And he's thinking, well, maybe I can come over and see you. I'm going to allow that. As long as he's being careful and he's being polite. Because I don't want him to be worried about coming beside me or to be beside me. I want him to understand that he can be beside me, but he needs to be polite. Because he was pushy, nippy, and he's got to understand we don't do that. So if he wants to check me out in a very polite way and is just smelling me, I'll allow that. But if he ever just starts to work the lip, he's going to find the end of this whip on the end of his nose very quick. And that was pretty good already. Now he's brought his head down, so he's toning himself down. I'm going to send him out again because I want him to keep building on positives. Right there, that's a little pushy. He kind of pushed my hand, and my hand pushed him back and said, don't do that. Don't do that. That hand was firm. That hand wasn't soft. As soon as that hand gets firm, he should know, whoa, I need to be more careful. If that hand is soft, that means that when it's soft, I never bump him or punch him or do anything like that if it's soft. But on the other hand, when he's rude, he's got to understand this is a closed hand. Don't come and try to nibble that and think there's going to be a treat or anything else, because that's a fist. I'm going to send him out. Again, he doesn't need to go out fast. I'm just looking out that he goes out in the direction I'm asking. And I like the fact that he took off and he was looking at me with his left eye. Now, had I put more pressure on him, he might have been a little cockier with the hind end because he would have been a little worried. I don't need him worried. I need him to be thinking positively. Now, he's a smart boy. He's already started to figure out if I stay close to him, I have less to do. Right there, he tried to make another decision. I won't allow that. And now he's starting to run into the wall. So when a horse is learning that you're setting up a wall, if I go up in front of him here like this, way in front of him, he should go the other way. People do not understand how important that is. That is a respect turn. I am the lead horse and I say, that spot right over there, that's mine. Don't go there. The pressure has to be off when he does that. So the second he makes that turn away from that, I take the pressure off so he can relax. So I need him responsible and respectful, but I don't need him staying worried. Now if he tries to run through the wall, I'll make sure he's worried. That was a nice turn. Pressure's off. If I take the pressure off right here, his eye's going to come back inside. Again, don't complicate it. Keep it simple. And he's racing a little bit right now. I don't even worry about that. He's feeling good. As long as he keeps going, he's looking for an out there. He's kind of thinking, oh, maybe I can get out of this. No. So now he's running for perimeter. He's checking out his options. Pretty soon he's going to realize that the best option is the one inside. And when he does that, then I'll make things easier for him. If he's looking to see if he can run away, well, I'm just going to make sure that he understands that if he runs away, I'll help him. So I'll take his idea and I'm making it mine. So he says, I'm going to run over there. I go, fine, let's run over there. Oh yeah, but let's keep running. I'll let you know when I want you to slow down. Right there, he's starting to rethink things. Circle's getting smaller. Again, he's trying to move to his strong eye. I want him to get his right eye stronger than that. There, he's starting to bend a little bit better. That's nice there. That's nice there. I could just stop him right there. And wait. That was good. He tracked me very nicely. And if he stops and he's staring at me with both eyes, I'm going to let him stay there even a little bit longer. Because when he gets undivided focus on me, that means that he realizes I'm the most important thing there is right there. So I want to allow him to be comfortable when he does that. I want him to understand that he's okay. And right there, letting him quiet down there when I had his undivided attention, you notice that he brought his head down and he started to relax. He's starting to realize he's okay. So now he's starting to think that, well, I don't need to worry so much about that. I must be doing something right. He's leaving me alone. Right? And he is. He made a few good choices. You reward that. Okay, don't complicate it. Everybody wants to do a bunch of inside turns, a bunch of outside turns. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, let's develop a little bit of inside. If he's rude, I'll develop an outside turn. He's telling me he needs to. But again, you don't need to pull outside turn after outside turn after outside turn until you run him into the fence. He shouldn't be hitting those perimeters. That's too much pressure. Again, I'm going to send him out. That's the incorrect turn. So I'm going to try that again. Okay, send him out. So that was an outside turn going in the direction I wanted. Later on, I won't allow him to do that. At this stage, it's not important. What's important is that he understands he needs to go to the left when I ask him to go to the left. If I make too big of a point of him being inside, when I ask a total inside turn, what's going to end up happening is he's going to start to panic. When the horse starts to panic, they make poorer and poorer choices. I want him to be trying. He doesn't know. So now we're going to go to turn to the other side. So by not letting him rest too long there, he made the inside turn the way I wanted it. So that's what I'm going to do on this side now. I'm going to let him make that turn in. If I back away, should draw his eye. He's thinking. He's not sure. Again, this is his weaker eye. Good. Good. Attaboy. That was good. It brought his eye and even the feet. That was good. That was a good turn. And again, when he goes in the direction I want, I don't want him to go fast. I want him to go with some thought. When he makes a turn and he feels comfortable enough to keep his eye on me, that allows him to consolidate the fact that he made a good choice and he's okay. When he makes good choices, I won't be bugging him. I'm going to allow him to be comfortable. And that little cheeky head toss and that at that distance, I don't worry about that. So he's cheeky. I like cheeky horses. Now if he's cheeky rude, that's different. If he starts getting cheeky and he's in close enough distance to touch me, he's going to be in trouble. I won't let him get that close. He is a boy and he'd like to show off. He would like to be a herd sire. That's in his nature. Turn the right way. If he decides that he'd like to go sniff his poop, I'm going to send him off right away. If he decides that he can keep an eye on me and maybe come my way, I'll allow that. Right there, he's thinking of going forward, but he's watching, I'm not moving. So he's thinking, maybe I can come in and see him. So I'm going to move away from him, but slowly, see if I can draw his eye. He's got to understand it. That was a nice turn in there. See, every time he makes that effort to come to me when I invite him, I want to do nothing, so that he understands that he's being invited in and not to be worried about coming in when invited. That was good. Now to the viewer there, that might look like, well, he just stopped. I was slowing myself down. He paid attention to it. So when we stopped, we almost stopped together. That was really good. And again, I'm going to send him out, but slowly. That was really good. Take the pressure off. See how that side's just a little bit racier? He goes outside a little bit more. But now he slowed down. That was good. If he's really trying for me, going slower like this is a really nice pace. If he's being evasive, then I'm going to want him to trot. In most cases, I really don't want him to canter, and especially in conditions like this, I don't need him to canter a lot. Unless he's trying to just run away, then I'll pull out my lariat and I'll make sure he stays way out on the circle. But that's because he's decided I can just run away. When we run away, I'll show you I got longer legs. But again, never show all your aces unless you need to. I use a little bit of a smooch when I want him to pay attention to me. Some people smooch to go. I cluck to go, but I like a smooch because it's very, very quiet and the horse can hear that. When he hears that, he has a tendency to want to turn to it or twitch his ear towards me. When he does that, then I know that I can start to keep drawing him in. I like it subtle. So when I invite him with the soft hand coming in with a soft shoulder. Very often people invite a horse and what they do is they raise the shoulder like this, blocking. They actually block the horse. You got to make sure you drop the inside shoulder if you're wanting the horse to come in. There, he got a little distracted. I'll just send him forward. Pick up a trot. Now I insist that he trot. He's starting to understand better. Now I'm going to start controlling his gaits more. If I get a decent bend, even in these slipperier conditions, he's going to be, especially being an Iberian horse, he'll actually have pretty good balance. If he's counterflex, he'll be slipping all the time. So right now he's thinking I still want him to move. So what I'm going to do is just move into his path and invite him in. And when he sees that my energy is right down, he's going to realize that, well, maybe I can just go in and see him. And then I'll reward that, if he's not being pushy. Okay, and his nature is on the pushy side. So a good way, if you're dealing with a young stallion like that, is don't allow him to stay there too long, because otherwise he gets into that busy mode. So creating the space is really important. And I definitely don't want him standing beside me masturbating. I don't want him that relaxed. I am not a mare in heat. Okay, I'm the lead mare that says, you know what, I need you to behave, buddy. You don't behave, bye. Go over there, over here, this way, that way. And send him out. At this stage, if somebody wanted to even start to cue the gaits, you could. So when you send them out, tell them to trot. That's really useful later on when you want to do in-hand stuff or whatever. You have a cue for him to come in, you could. So I often use a whistle with my horses when I want them to come in, because they start to understand that when I whistle, that means if you come in at that point, there's always a down phase. There's always a relaxation phase where we do nothing. And then what happens is the horses start to come in faster and faster to come and see it, because they like that relaxation phase, because that's where we start to hang out. Now he's being a little bit more careful, so I'm going to touch him a little bit more, but I'm going to watch that he doesn't get too comfortable with that. I don't want him getting busy. Right there already, the boys, as soon as you touch them like that, they want to push into you. So as soon as he starts to do that, I'm going to send him out again and send him out. See that? And I always watch my angles. That horse is in really tight on me all the time. How do I create that space? It's outside turns. Here's one outside turn pushing him towards the rail. There's one other outside turn pushing him against the rail. Now you'll notice that he's going to start taking the outside turns, and he's going to have less and less attitude every time he does it. Because he's starting to realize that attitude didn't get him anything. There you go. Now he's starting to go wider. There you go. I'd like him to go right to that far corner. There you go. See how I went to the shoulder? If I go towards the shoulder, he'll go to the outside of the rail. So this is getting more energetic because he has more attitude. I look to his eye, but I'm way out in front of him so that he understands I'm taking the front away from him. So now I don't want him stuck outside. So he's starting to realize I'm actually controlling that. I want him to just keep moving forward and keep moving in the direction I asked him to stay out wider. So all I have to do is bring the whip towards his rib cage and shoulder. He'll go wider. I have to watch that I don't do so much of this that his eye gets stuck outside. So I made a point that he needs to stay out of my space or go out wider when I ask him. But I also don't want him scared to come and see me when asked, if he's being polite. Again, when I touch him, I let him know I like him, but I stop it the second he gets a little too forward and too pushy. And it's normal for the boys to be pushy. Because he goes, "Are you a girl?" He doesn't care whether I'm a guy or whether I'm not. He goes, "Are you possibly female?" Well, I check her out, If he gets pushy, if every time I start squealing I take his head off, he knows I'm not in heat and I'm not interested. And the problem with that is people are not clear with that. If you're not clear, the horse will keep testing. If I'm just saying, socially, we can be friends. That's it. Nothing more. And in this relationship, I'm the leader, not you. So he had to think about that. He thought, well, do you want me to go? And then he went, well, no, that's an invitation. So he started to read the body language, and then he rethought it. A lot of times people don't understand. I also watch when he follows me, that he follows me, but he slows up before he gets to me. If he comes right up and touches me, that's too forward, especially for a young stud colt, or a horse that has a tendency to be on the pushy side. So I want him to stop. A good way to do it is I block him right there. So he can sniff, that's it. But that hand right now that's just out there like this will turn to this. See his reaction? As soon as I turn to that, he could feel the energy in that. He's not stupid. He's probably trained a few people already. Often what happens is people don't realize all the choices he's making and how he's becoming more assertive on being pushy. And that becomes a problem. All of a sudden, you know, he's kind of a brat to where he becomes a total nuisance, and then he becomes dangerous. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these horses have bad reps because of the people that are handling them, not because the horses are necessarily bad. And generally speaking, the boys like to get rubbed. They really do. I have yet to see a stallion that doesn't like grooming. You just have to really watch that they see it as a grooming exercises and not as a mating ritual. Good. And again, here's a good time to test. I'm going to ask him for a backup. That was good. So every time I ask him to back away from me, he's being reasserted as who's leading who. See how he wants to come back? You know, that's very Iberian. I gotta be with you. I want to be with you. He just can't stand, which is good. This is really good. If they don't do that, they're not Iberian. But on the other hand, he has to do this politely. That was a nice backup. Oh boy, really worked out. And now we're gonna do a start. You know, can you see the hand? Pick up that nice bend. That wasn't bad. He went to check out Amoroso next door, and then he went, oh, I better watch him. Good. I want to keep giving him the opportunity to focus on me, not on other things. When he starts to look at me and doesn't worry about that other guy over there, then we know we're starting to get on track. He's starting to understand that he can't ignore me. But he also has to understand go is go. So as he gets better, if I ask him to move, I'm going to ask him for shorter periods of moving, because the whole idea is not to over-exercise a horse. The whole idea is to build communication with the horse. Does he understand go when I ask him? Does he understand at what pace? You know, if I say canter, canter. So when he understands that when he's cantering, it's because I asked him. Now I'm going to ask him to slow down. Good. Good. And I want him to understand when I say good, that cue word means that whatever you guess, you're on the right track. Come on, cheeky poo. And again, I don't want him going too long, because if he has to go too long, he starts to wonder, did he make the right choice? Did he offer what it was you wanted? And then if he just starts to get worried, he can't think. So I want him to understand as soon as he can that when he's making good choices, that'll be rewarded. He's making bad choices, there's a consequence. Okay, now this guy here, because he's stronger on his right eye than his left, a good way for me to make that turn the other way is to turn right around and bring the whip around this way. Then send him out with the hand. As soon as his eye looks to my right hand drops right off. Otherwise it becomes a block. So often people say, I want you to go to the right. Well, his eye is on the right. He's not stupid. He knows that's what's left. See, the door's open. If that arm stays out there, I actually block that. So when I want him to go over there, I have to open that up. A little bit like a bullfighter. Because here, bull, I want you to go over there. There you go. See, there's pressure on the hind, invitation to the right. That was really nice shape. Good. I want him to get comfortable coming in. Good. So all these skills that he's learning here, when I put a lead line on this guy, I'm going to ask all of these skills. All right. So as you can see, he goes with attitude, and yeah, he's got a little bit of, he likes to kick up his heels and whatever, but he's not so worried about it that he can't relax and start to feel half decent about himself. But at the same time, he's starting to understand that if I want him to move, he should move. That I'm pushing him from. I'm never from in front. My hand's in front, but I'm always to the sides of the shoulders. This little guy here has a big wingspan. He's very loose shoulders. So if I was standing, if he was being aggressive, and I was standing right here, this guy here could take my nose off. Okay, so you don't take that lightly. That's why I'm always standing to the side, because now I can deflect. I'm also reading the horse's body language, and his body language right now is not aggressive at all. He's not protecting himself right now. He's trying to just relax and enjoy himself, and he's not so relaxed that he's not hanging his penis out thinking of other things. That's too relaxed. So again, I'm going to practice my circle to the left, out. That was a little bit slow, but I really liked the fact that he actually took the direction with a touch of the hand, pushing his face over and that. So he was not uncomfortable taking the direction when I had to physically touch him. Maybe I might want to ride him with my hands. It'd be nice if he understood that when I push that way, that's a push. He should turn away from that. So I don't want him shy of an open hand. If there's an open hand, I want him to understand that's an invitation. It's an open hand this way. I want to solidify that string as if he's connected to a lead line. Good. So there's the pulls. Okay? There's the start of the pushes. There's a push. There's a push out to a turn. Reconnect my string to the pole. Good. Now when I can start to combine pushes and pulls where he yields space and shape, this is where it starts to become a lot of fun. And the thing is, this is not a negative experience for him. He starts to feel that, well, he doesn't have to worry about me when he's trying like that. I'm not out here just to pick on him. I'm actually trying to teach him something. But also what I do is that he's a very social animal. He's actually getting to socialize. He's getting to have somebody rub him and move him in ways that feel good without being a little brat. Okay, so we didn't go that long, but you can take a horse, if you were to do this, 3-4 times a week, even twice a week, you'd be amazed what you have at the end of a month when it comes to some basic skills. Okay, for me, this is where all my horses start. If they don't come to me when I ask them, I don't even care to do anything else because I don't have their undivided attention. So, you know, when I feed him, he learns not to charge up, he gets moved back. So when he comes back, if he comes in and he's thinking he's going to eat, I have him go back and I say, no, you over there. And if he tries to come in, he's going to run into something. So he's already learning now that he'll stand back, I'll feed, and then I'll say, yes, you can come here. That's yours. See how his head dropped when I brought my hand down there? He's going, okay, that's not being threatening in any way whatsoever. Otherwise, he sure as heck wouldn't be yawning and distressing here. So he's coming out. You know, I don't want him to be scared of being around me, but I do want him that if he's having bad thoughts, that he should be reconsidering that. Yes, you're a brat. You're training your horses. What you want them to do, especially at Liberty, is make sure that horse has his eyes on you, in that you're the one walking away from them. They're not walking away from you. If that horse, anytime I put him in his pen and he walks off, instead of looking at me, or are we done? I want him thinking we're not done. So when I leave, he goes, oh, okay, so he's never in a hurry to leave me unless I told him he should go somewhere.